Hello, guys. Welcome to our group meeting two. Today, we are going to go over coping skills. Before we get started, I just want to go over some important information, including all of your guys' rights, and then we're going to kind of go over an overview, an introduction of all of ourselves. So before we get started with all of that fun stuff, I just want to go over so a little bit more of ethical work, and then we will get started. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm a graduate student working towards the completion of my master's degree in professional counseling. I'm currently practicing counseling techniques, and therefore the session will be recorded. Only my professor and classmates will see this tape. At the end of the semester, it will be completely damaged. No one will be able to see it. Likewise, with me in my degree, there are some limitations of some things that I can practice. Um, so I want you guys to continue to have the best results possible. And with that, we're going to move into your guys' rights. And any time throughout this, you guys have the complete right to step away. You guys do not need to receive any more services. And if any time you are just completely not satisfied by a request, you can reach out to me or my supervisor. That is completely okay. Um, Again, there is no obligation to continue. You have the right to discontinue at any time. My services are rendered in a professional manner consistent with the ethical standards of the American Counseling Association. If you have a complaint, you can reach out to my supervisor, my professors. And again, moving a little bit more into your guys' rights. I do have the right, though, if you guys are at danger, if a child's at danger, if an elder's at danger, at harm, at a risk, I do have the obligation to report that. Just because ultimately, I do care about you guys. I want to make sure you guys are safe. So we do have to report that. That is super important that you guys remember. Again, just a reminder, this is going to be recorded, but at the end of the semester, it will be completely destroyed. If you guys all agree, if you guys may say you agree, then we can move forward.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to attempt to share my screen and then we can get started into our coping skills. Okay. Okay, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Do you guys see your guys' selves?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So again, meeting is gonna go over coping skills. So all of you guys are teenagers. You guys are adolescents. Being at that age comes with a lot of responsibility, new changes in your life. So coping skills are going to be a really important part of your life. So the goal for this session today is helping you guys identify and practice healthy coping strategies for managing your stress, anxiety, emotions, through creative and mindfulness practice techniques. Some of the techniques that we're going to go over today are journaling, art, deep breathing, and guided imagery. The purpose of this session is to build comfort, set expectations, and establish trust. The overview today, we're going to have a welcome and a purpose. We're all going to kind of introduce each other, share some important information, kind of get to know each other. With that, we're going to have a fun icebreaker. We don't want to go into this being awkward. We want this to have to be our safe place. We kind of are going over the overview, and then just a reminder, our weekly meetings are supposed to be between 30 to 45 minutes. Now, depending on how fast we get towards stuff, it might be a little bit shorter. We can go past that. We want to stay at that 45-minute mark. Okay, so welcome all of you guys. My name is Mia. I am 33 years old. I'm a little bit older, but I'm still going back for my master's degree. One fact about me is that I have two children and I am perfectly married. I've been married for about 5 years. Um, and one area of my life that I think I could use some coping skills on is dealing with my children. Sometimes after a long day of work, school, I kind of can be a little bit more patient with my children. So now I'm going to ask you guys to share your name, age, one fun fact about you, and one area of your life that you would like to practice some coping skills on in.
Sure. I guess I'll start. My name's Amy, and I'm 11 years old. I like to rollerblade, And in terms of coping skills, I guess sometimes I get really overwhelmed and I just want to cry when, I feel like people are judging me or maybe I'm not doing a good enough job in school. And so I think I need help just trying to cope through those emotions. I think that would help me a lot to feel also less shy and wanting to participate in class or like extracurriculars.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do not know how to rollerblade. So props to you for knowing how to rollerblade. Imani or Brianna, would you guys like to go?
I'm Brianna and I'm 12 years old, and I would like to learn how to cope with my anger a little bit. I'll get angry when things don't when my parents put boundaries on me. So I'm wanting to learn how to cope with that situation. I kind of start throwing things, or I kind of distance myself from my family, things of that nature.
Yes, I completely understand that my parents are divorced. And when I was your age, I definitely struggled with my anger a lot. I absolutely did not know how to deal with my anger. I would walk away from things, I would throw things. So all the things that you're kind of talking about, I do understand you and exactly how hard that can be. Imani, would you like to talk a little bit?
Hi, I'm Imani. I'm 13. Um, what was it? The thing we're cope with?
One fun fact about you, and then yes, one area of your life you want to work on.
One fun fact, I play volleyball, and something I want to cope with is stress. I just feel the need all the time to like have perfect grades and be the star volleyball player. So that's something I would like to cope with.
Yes, for sure. I understand. It kind of seems like maybe there's some pressure with volleyball, and I'm sure that you kind of have certain grades to play volleyball, and from your friends and from your parents. So it can definitely be a lot of pressure. But that is wonderful that you're playing volleyball. I'm sure you are wonderful at it. So welcome, you guys. I'm so happy all of you guys are here. Okay, moving forward, we're gonna have some fun with an icebreaker. So the topic is gonna be share one word describing how you feel today. I'm gonna give you guys just some time. We're gonna take some moment of silence to kind of think about how we're feeling today, and then we'll come back in and then we'll discuss, okay? Okay, you guys, I'm gonna start just so we're not alone here. Today I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling positive and joyful that you guys are all here. I have full faith and I believe in all of you guys that this is gonna go great. And coming out of this, you guys are gonna learn wonderful coping skills, how to deal with friends and family and grades. That all of you guys have kind of touched on. Amy, would you like to talk about how you're feeling today?
Yes, I guess I can say I feel a little overwhelmed because one of my best friends isn't talking to me and I don't know why. And I felt like I was good to her and she's just not responding to me, to my messages. And I know she made a new friend, so I kind of feel like maybe she replaced me, but I don't really know. And it's making me really sad and just overwhelmed with like what could be going wrong between us.
Yes, that is a lot to take in. It can definitely be difficult when we see our friend kind of distant ourselves and then our it kind of raises our anxiety, right? We're like, hey, like what happened? Did I say something wrong? Like let me reread our past text messages, like let me go look at old pictures and our fun memories, and why is she with this new friend? Like am I not as important right now? But ultimately, one key piece of advice that I can give you is when we begin to kind of feel angry and sad, we want to focus that a need of ours is not being met, right? And in this case, a need that's not being met for yours is the proper communication, right? would be nice for your friend to reach out and say, hey, like, I miss you. How have you been? Like, checking in with you, right? Just so you know that you still are important. You're very important, Amy. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Imani, would you like to talk about how you're feeling today?
Yes, today I'm feeling a bit nervous. I know that grades are coming up soon, and I've been struggling a little bit in my reading class. And I just don't want to disappoint my mom. So that's been something in the back of my head constantly.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I am in my master's degree, so I can kind of understand that school can definitely be a lot. It comes a lot with grades. Some tips and pointers that I can give you is always reach out to your teachers. Your teachers, they want to see you be a wonderful student, which I'm sure you already are. But when you kind of reach out and say, hey, like, I know my grades are coming up, like, what all can I do to make sure I'm getting the highest grade? I care, I want to be awesome. I'm sure they will be more than willing to help you out there. And again, everything that you're feeling is completely normal. It's okay to kind of feel a little bit pressured and stressed out. And that's why we're here, right? To, work on our coping skills. Brianna, do you want to take over a little bit?
Yes, I am feeling very sad. I've noticed my parents they're not living together at the moment, so every other weekend I go to my dad's and then I go back to my mom's and sometimes I'm at my grandma's, so I just feel that I'm not grounded in one or secure in a home. I'm always at a different location. So today I just feel very heavy. I'm really sad. So I'm hoping my parents, will figure things out so I won't be so angry and sad and agitated.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that there's some inconsistency going on. And it can definitely be difficult. Again, my parents are divorced, so I understand what it's like to kind of flip-flop back and forth between, one parent to another, and sometimes even hear what one parent is saying about the other, and it can make us feel in the middle. But I want to remind you that you are not the reason for any of the issues that adults are going through. Um, you are very important, you're special, and it's important for parents and adults to remember those coping skills, right? So for you to be here and for you to take the chance on focusing on your coping skills, you are going to be a wonderful parent one day. You're going to be a wonderful adult. Um, so even though it's very difficult right now, I know that your future will be bright. And it is nice that maybe you have your grandma around who can, give you cuddles or bake you cookies when, your parents are going through some harder moments. Um, Okay, so wonderful icebreaker, you guys. Thank you guys so much. Before we get started, does everybody have a piece of paper and pencil available?
Yes.
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 Okay,
Yes.
awesome. We are going to need that quite a bit today. We're going to move into our techniques. I want to emphasize that you guys are not going to do your guys' techniques alone. I am going to be doing them with you guys because even though I'm an adult, again, adults can use some help with the coping skills too, and we are all one family. We all care about each other. This is a safe place, so I do not want you guys to feel alone. So I'm going to help you guys out with the techniques too, okay? So the first technique we're going to go over is journaling. Has anybody journaled in this group?
I've journaled before.
Okay, awesome. How long have you been doing it? Do you like it? What can you say?
I think like when I get overwhelmed and there's like some spare time in class, like I finish my assignment, I sometimes pull out my journal and I just like to write. I don't really remember when I started.
No, I love that. That is awesome. If it's working for you, Amy, keep doing it. You go, girl. I'm cheering you on for journaling. Imani or Biana, have you guys journaled, or is it something
I
that?
I
have a
don't.
di oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Imani. Sorry.
I have a diary, but I sometimes journal in it, not often.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, whenever we're up to it, we can, that's the good thing about um this group, right? We're gonna learn different techniques, and if one really sticks out to us, we can use it. And if one day we're feeling it, one day we're not, that's all okay, right? Because we're gonna learn a bunch of different techniques. Brianna, you were gonna say something. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, I've journaled before, but it's just sometimes hard to get my emotions onto the paper.
Mm,
So I feel stuck. It's still like in my brain. I try to get it onto the paper, but it won't go there.
yes, that's okay. Um, again, we're gonna talk about art techniques. So if journaling might be a little bit harder, maybe we can try art for you. One little tip that I can give you is when I feel like I have a lot to say, I will play music in the background because sometimes artists connecting to art, they cannot fully say how they're feeling. So they talk their music, they talk their art. That's a coping skill, right? So if you kind of want to get in the feel, maybe you can play some, music in the background that can allow you to kind of talk about your feelings in that journal. Um, Journaling is important because it helps you slow down, right? You got to pick up the pencil, you got to start writing, you got to get those wheels in your brain kind of running, right? So we're going to slow down. It allows us to recognize what you're feeling before reacting, which is super important, right? That's something that coping skills are going to help us do, right? So Brianna, you kind of mentioned that your parents are going through a lot right now, right? So it's important for us to slow down before react, right? So let's say an example, you're really mad one day and all of a sudden you have a dish right in front of you and you throw it at your parents, or you're so mad that, you hit a wall or, some sort, right? So you automatically reacted, which reacting is how you're feeling. We want to express that. We want to express it in more of a healthy manner. So that's why journaling is important. It allows us to have time before we react. So we're going to take some time together on your piece of paper and your pencil. I want you to describe a recent moment that you guys felt stressed or upset. You guys can talk about what did you do in that time? What could you try next time? We're going to take a minute to 2 minutes, kind of think about that, and then we're going to come back in, okay? Okay, how are you guys doing? Do you need some more time or are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to start this off, and then if you guys would like to go first, go ahead, raise your hand, start talking, whichever you guys would like. So a recent moment that I felt upset, was that my child went on a field trip to the zoo. His teacher did not go with his class. Two other teachers. There's three classes. Two teachers went, and my child's class did not have a teacher. I was very upset. I was angry because my child was at a risk of not being safe, right? So I immediately reacted. I wrote a really mean email, and then as soon as I was about to send it, I stopped and I was like, wait a second, like this is not nice. I'm reacting. And then I took some deep breaths and I kind of, you know, came back into reality and I was like, okay, like, wait a second. So next time, hopefully this does not happen again. But I'm able to remember the next time that I'm upset, let me take some deep breaths first, then reach out to whoever I need to reach out to and explain how I'm feeling when I'm a little bit more calm, right? Versus reacting first and saying something that, might be mean and might hurt somebody's feelings. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We want to be nice to people. So that is my moment. Amy, do you want to maybe talk about a recent moment about yourself?
Guess recent moment for me was, as I mentioned before, my friend stopped reaching out to me. And I don't really know why, but I was thinking that maybe it's because I like this boy and she could maybe like him too. And she's just kind of avoiding me because of that, but she's not telling me why. And so I'm hoping that, she reaches out at some point so that we can maybe try to talk it out because she's been my friend since childhood. I mean, since we're like 5, so maybe it's just a phase. Maybe sometimes people just need space. I don't know. But it's really hurting me, and I'm just kind of need to learn some coping skills so I can get through it because sometimes it's really hard.
Yes, Amy. That is really good that you were able to kind of think about, hey, maybe this is why, right? Um, have you tried reaching out to your friends yet?
Like my friends in general or her?
Her.
I tried. I
Mhm,
texted her, but
mhm,
she's not responding.
mhm,
And also, I've seen her in the hallways at school, and she kind of
mhm,
just like takes the opposite way to the hallway. So she knows I'm there, but she's avoiding me.
mhm,
And I'm afraid of like being rejected if I go directly to her. I
mhm.
don't know if I'm ready for that because if I'm already in pain and I'm struggling to cope with my emotions, if I reach out to her like face to face and she rejects me, like that's gonna be like the worst thing that could happen to me because then I could probably cry and then I don't want her to see me cry or anybody else and I have to go to class. So yeah.
Yes, that's true. Rejection can definitely hurt our feelings. Um, One thing that I want to say is you crying, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Crying is a natural way of our body talking to us. If we need to cry, we have to let our tears come out, right? We feel better as soon as we cry. So at any point, if you feel like you do need to cry, cry it out. It's completely okay. Um, you can kind of write her a letter. We're talking about journaling. You could write her a letter and say, hey, like, I don't know why we're not talking right now. I want to talk to you. I want to continue our friendship. You can give it to her. You can not give it up to her. You cannot give it to her. That's okay. Whatever you feel comfortable in that moment. This is your life. You have control over your life, right? Um, you can also continue to, give her space. If she doesn't seem like she's ready, we can't make her be ready. We can't force her into talking to us. We have to either maybe find different friends or, you know, continue to just kind of wait it out, which can be hard. But you've been doing a great job so far. If you want to try and reach out again through a text or a phone call, that's okay. But if you do that, it's important to kind of remind ourselves, hey, she may not text me back. She may not answer, but that is okay because you are trying, you're doing the best you can. And if she doesn't, then you will find other friends down the line. And even though it can be hurtful because she is your childhood friend, um, you will find wonderful friends down the line who will treat you and will be nice to you in the way that you deserve. Um, Imani or Brianna, do you guys want to talk?
I
Oh,
can go.
go ahead, Imani.
A time that I was upset recently, was I worked really, really, really hard, on this to study on this test, and I got a really, really low grade, and I was extremely upset. I know I've been hiding it from my mom. I know she's going to be really angry at me. Um, and it just made me feel really upset because like I tried my best and it just still isn't good enough. And I feel like that happens quite often.
Hmm. Yeah, it can happen a lot, but it's good that you're able to recognize a pattern that, hey, this has kind of been going on recently. So again, I'm always going to tell you to reach out to your teachers. But it could be kind of helpful to, just tell your mom, right? She might be upset. But if she's upset, it means that she cares. If she wasn't upset, it means that she did not care. Um, so you can reach out to her, be like, "Hey mom, like, my grades are coming up. I haven't been doing so hot recently. Like, I need some help. Like, can you help me? Like, should I go to my teachers? Like, can you write my teachers an email for me? Like, just kind of let her know where, you are, because let's say down the line, right, your report card comes back and you have all D's and F's, right? And your mom is like, "Oh my gosh, what happened? Like, why didn't you tell me?" Right? It can be important to, just tell her, reach out to her, be like, "Mom, like, I really am struggling right now." And if she takes it the wrong way, we can always talk about that at another session. That can be another topic on how we can deal with stress. This will kind of all tie back in. Brianna, would you like to talk about your moment?
When my parents uh stated that they were basically going to get a divorce, and I got super upset and they took my door down. Um, and I just feel like my emotions weren't valid. I feel like they never came and talked to me to see how I felt or anything like that. So that was kind of a stressful moment for me. They even took my Game Boy away, and that kind of helps with my anxiety. So I kind of was sitting in my room with no door and anxiety at the same time. So it was pretty stressful.
Yes, that is a lot. I I am so sorry that this is happening to you. One, the door is your privacy, right? That's your space. That's super important to you. You should have your door back. And I do hope in the near future that your parents are able to put their problems aside for you and give you the best and give you your door back. Um, and your items that they are taking away is also a boundary of yours. They have violated a boundary, and that is not okay, right? Your boundaries are important to you. Um, so again, I am so sorry, and I hope that you're able to get all of your privacy back, as you deserve. Um, okay, we're gonna move forward to our second technique, which is art. Art is important because it explores creative expression as a non-verbal coping method. So we're gonna take a little bit of time again. We're gonna draw what stress looks like or something that makes you feel calm. You guys can share this, or if you guys don't want to share because you guys aren't good at art, that's okay. We can pass. I'm gonna give you guys like a minute and then we'll come back in again. Okay? Okay, do you guys need a little bit more time or are we ready?
I'm ready.
I think we're ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
awesome. So as you can see, my background is the beach. I love the beach. I am not the greatest drawer. So I drew some, let me see if I can show. Oh, there. Oh, let me see. Well, I drew some beach waves. I drew my family and some birds. Um, Obviously that is very relaxing. It's very calming, and if I could be at the beach, I completely would. Um, Imani, would you like to share or do you want to pass?
Um, I'll pass. I didn't really draw anything because,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know
no,
I'm not the best drawer.
it's okay. No worries. Brianna, do you want to share?
I drew a cross.
Very nice. Do you want to share what the cross means to you, or do you want to pass?
Well, Since I've been staying with my grandma, she's been reading the Bible to me to try to help me cope with what's going on in my family. So I drew the cross because it's starting to give me peace.
Awesome. I love that. If your faith is working for you, I highly advise you to continue to practice in your faith. Amy, would you like to share or do you want to pass?
I will share. I don't know if you
Awesome.
can see it because it gets blurry. You
It's
can't really
okay.
see it. So
Hmm.
it's basically a waterfall,
Hmm.
and it's just nature and just the sound of the nature and just, yeah, just the whole aspect of nature. It really makes me feel calm.
Mm, I
Yeah.
love that. We have a connection there. We feel calm
Hmm.
being outside. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna move into deep breathing. Um, Breathing is important because it brings us back into reality, right? It calms our body. It's a self-soothing technique. So I'm going to count. You guys are going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. If you guys do not complete the whole seconds, that is completely okay. Um, are you guys ready for breathing techniques?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Remember, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. All right, ready? We're gonna inhale for 4 seconds. I'm gonna count and then you guys will breathe. Okay, so I will focus on the timing. You guys just focus on the breathing. All right. All right, let's take our inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's hold for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. You guys did great. That's our breathing technique. Now remember, if we can't journal and we can't draw completely, breathing is a technique that we can go to, right? We can just do it ourselves, nice and quiet. Maybe people won't even be looking at us because it's so natural, right? It can just be really, really fast and it just brings us back in. Um, Now I want you guys to close your eyes. Imagine a calm place, beach, forest, your room, and then just imagine what it's like to be there. We'll do that for about 30 seconds, okay? So let's close our eyes. Okay, you guys can open. Okay, Brianna, would you like to share your calm place?
My calm place was my seventh birthday party. That was the best birthday party I ever had. My family was together. I got my PlayStation and all that good stuff. So that's where I took myself back to.
Very good. I am glad that you're able to ground yourself, go back to a happy moment when your family was together. You had all of your privacy, your boundaries, your items. So that is wonderful. Imani, would you like to share?
Yeah, I had two places. So at first I was thinking about like being on the court, the volleyball court. And then the second place I thought was with my friends.
Awesome. Very nice. You get to kind of, exercise it out. Amy, do you want to share?
Sure. I guess it's laughing with my friends. That's my calm place.
I love that. Maybe particularly with your thank you guys so much for sharing all of that wonderful information. Um, so I just want to kind of go over some homework and then we will be all done for this session. Um, so at any point throughout your guys' time, take your journal out, prompt yourself, be like, I am stressed, I am sad during these moments. Focus on your breathing skills. Just kind of implement the strategies that we talked about today. And at any moment throughout the week, you feel stressed, use those skills. And then in our following time next week, we will talk about how it went for you guys. Do you guys have any questions or comments before we end this session today?
No.
I don't have any.
Okay,
No.
awesome. You guys did great. Thank you guys so much for coming today, and I hope you guys have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.